Feel the spirit flow, feel the spirit flow. You feel it all over, but it's been all over you.
There may be no finer thing that I've ever been presented in my life. So
well done, Pat.
We have a wonderful neighbour, a young woman who is absolutely outstanding. Her deep character, her friendship has been outstanding for us. Her name is Kate Saxton, the granddaughter of Joan Saxton. Any group that you're invited into that has a member like a Joan Saxton, you've just got to feel honoured. These are wonderful people. To be measured in the same breath is just stunning. I do need to thank my family. It all starts with the red dirt of Kalgoorlie. I'm a Kalgoorlie born kid. My mum always said that I got the gift of speaking from her, and that she was so much better at it than me. And I always agreed with her, and I said, Mum, I did get the gift of speaking from you. I got the gift of saying something sensible from Dad. and Jack loved that gag. Mum loved that gag too. In fact, Mum pretty well figured it in every speech I've ever done in 32 years, and she loved that because every time I mentioned her, I paid her a royalty. True story, and I think it's a good thing to do it, you know. So my sister Karen, when I started my business, it was October 1987 that I registered my business. It was the day the stock market crashed, and I believe I actually caused the stock market crash. But for 7 years we ran a youth program called Youth Mastermind, and Karen, my sister, was there through the tough and wonderful times that it was. My brother Gary, I came back to Australia because of Gary. I started as an English, history and economics teacher, and I still in many ways am. And I then went travelling for 3 months, and 7 years later I was still on the road with a backpack. And my brother rang me to say, you've got to come back to Australia and be best man at my wedding. And I want you to design a program with me called Mastermind. And I want you to design a youth mastermind program. So this was 32 years ago. Gary he features in every speech too, because my brother is severely dyslexic and one of the smartest men I've ever known. It's because of Gary, I looked at kids and I thought, this kid's bright. I didn't look and say they can't do something. I was looking for the crayons that they could use. Teachers had told my brother he was dumb. He was never, ever dumb. And he taught me to be on the lookout for talent in people and to be able to grow that talent. In my 7 years when I did travel and finally came back, I was 30 years of age. I had $50 in my bank account, that was it. I had a mouldy backpack and 2 books that had travelled with me for 7 years, Bob Dylan's Complete Writings and Drawings and the selected poetry of William Butler Yeats. And I thank Gary for bringing me back, because I was being interviewed on TV in the first week that I was back in Australia about my years of travel. And the producer of that television program was a young woman by the name of Lindy Hawkins. And we met that day, and 3 months later she became Lindy Capelli. It's important to act quickly at certain times in your life. I only had $50. Lindy and I got each other. In Italian we call it simpatico, and we still are simpatico. Lindy's not here. I'm not even supposed to be here. Lindy's just had a rather serious operation, and we knew that was happening, so I wasn't coming. But a couple of weeks ago she said, no, I think you've got to go at least to the night, because in my privileged position I had the knowledge of who was going to win the Educator Award, and she wanted me to be here for the wonderful Ian Stevens getting his award. I didn't know that the wonderful Colin James was going to get the Keynote Award. Colin lived on a kibbutz just south of my kibbutz in the north of Israel in the year that I lived in Israel. we became best mates and presented together for many years a program called T3. So Lindy and I, we just got each other, and when I married, I got a great sense of energy, and because of that sense of energy, they awarded me a Sir Winston Churchill Study Fellowship. And Sir Winston Churchill, the number of people his life has touched by leaving that fund. I went back over to America. I got to work with neuroscientists like Marion Diamond, one of the first women in neuroscience, Bob Sternberg, brilliant people. Through them I met Michael Grinder, a wonderful mate. And I come back to Australia and I launch a 12-set audio cassette program called Train Your Brain. And it even sold in the Down to Earth bookshop in Perth. You know, you had to go down the basement. And I was pretty chuffed about this, because when I went down and saw my tapes, they were next to Australia's top-selling audio cassette program by Lisa McGuinness. To be on the same shelf as that woman, I tell you, it's just brilliant. So Lee Farnell rings me and says, "Cap, you're back with this stuff. I need you to come and talk to a group called National Speakers." So I went along and I talked about the many lands of smart. I just recently talked in Victoria about the many lands of smart again. And it introduced me to a group of people that I thought could be my methodology buddies. You know, from there it introduced me to Winnow and Loris, wonderful human beings. Lindsay Adams, Ian Berry, who's been mentioned tonight, Catherine Palin Brinkworth, Helen Mack, brilliant people. And then we kick in with this Educator Award and we get what we call the Stoolies. Now, for those of you who are wondering, you'll find out. But, and they're people of methodology. You know, and you get to work with some of these. I mean, I kicked a footy on Subiaco Oval with a man called Steve Simpson, and then we get to share stages together. You know, Cole James, who I mentioned, Dave Katsoukas, we run the Super Teacher programs together. I get to work with the amazing, wonderful Amanda Gore. You know, there are some people that come in life, they look to compare and compete. I think what this mob looks to do is to be able to celebrate and collaborate. And that's what you should. In a world that's just about compare, compete, it's anxiety, it's depression, it's up and it's down. But when you celebrate other human beings for their talent, you get, gee, I want to work with those people, I want to be with like people, with those people. It's just magnificent. I became a teacher because I believed that we could reach talent in children, we could reach talent in all people. H.G. Wells wrote that it was a race between education and catastrophe. And I think the world's got close to that. We need people that honour creativity, that honour collaboration, that honour community. And I believe we are it. I thank us, I thank you, I thank all.